YouTube while you do that.
Says there's a broadcast button. Attendees cannot join. I'm ready. Here we go.
All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ivy Hartman. I work at Rockwood Summit High School. I'm also a volunteer with the Missouri Association of College Admissions Counselors, and we're so glad that you're here to join us. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Missouri students, sponsored by the Missouri Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan. I want to thank you all for being here. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to your presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you, and this is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so make sure that you check out the full schedule at moacac.org. Now, this presentation is being recorded and will also be available within about a week at that same website, moacac.org. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our presenters.
Hi, everyone. So I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jenny, and I work at Fontbonne University, and I'm actually an assistant director of admissions. Throughout this presentation, you will learn what ABET accreditation is, what the differences are between cybersecurity and computer science, and also what both of these programs look like at Fontbonne. So Missouri is actually really well known for information technology. Fontbonne is one of 3 universities with ABET accreditation for cybersecurity in the United States. The other 2 are my other panelists, University of Central Missouri and Southeast Missouri State. And they're actually the only other 2. So I just want to really highlight that. Fontbonne is one of 7 ABET accredited schools in Missouri for computer science. And St. Louis is also kind of like a mini Silicon Valley. A lot of tech firms are investing in the area, such as startups. The National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, or NGA, actually just got their headquarters here. Okay. So what do you know about Fontbonne? Fontbonne is a small private Catholic liberal arts school in Clayton, Missouri, which is just outside of the St. Louis city. We actually have a total population of undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral students of 1,200, meaning our student to faculty ratio is actually 10-to-1. So we have over 40 plus majors, but I'm only going to highlight the 2, cybersecurity and computer science. And as far as with athletics, we do compete in Division III with NCAA. Okay, so the first thing is, what is ABET accreditation? If you are interested in IT or engineering, you may have heard this before, but you're not quite sure what this means. So ABET is a nonprofit, non-governmental agency that accredits programs internationally in applied and natural science, computing, engineering, and engineering technology. So ABET is an acronym. However, what it stands for is outdated. It used to stand for the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology, but as you can see, there are a variety of other fields that can now receive ABET accreditation. Therefore, they decided to continue on with the acronym. So to date, 4,144 programs at 812 colleges and universities in 32 countries have received ABET accreditation. The newest program to receive ABET accreditation worldwide is cybersecurity. Currently, they are also investigating how to accredit data science. And lastly, ABET provides specialized accreditation programs for post-secondary programs within institutions, not the institutions themselves. So what do schools have to do to become accredited? Universities and colleges have to post their student outcomes from a list of objectives, provide the proper documentation, and then be reaccredited every 6 years. So it actually takes about 4 years to start the accreditation process, but it's not enough to just get it once. You actually have to continuously get it every 6 years as long as your program is in existence. So it's pretty great that we all have these programs. Okay, so why is this important, right? So you're kind of thinking, okay, well, I know what it is. It sounds like this really fancy term, but why does this make your institution or all of these institutions that the panelists represent important. So ABET accreditation also assures that an institution has met the standards for STEM fields, verifies that your educational experience meets the global standard, enhances your employment opportunities, and also provides support through licensure, registration, and certification. So some employers and graduate programs actually require graduation from an ABET accredited institution before they'll even consider you. Also, graduates from an ABET accredited program have a solid educational foundation and are capable of leading the way in innovation, emerging technologies, and in anticipating the welfare and safety needs of the public. Okay, so now that you have a little bit of background about ABET accreditation, you're probably like, okay, cybersecurity, computer science, they kind of sound like the same thing, right? Actually, they do have some similar qualities, but they are two very different fields. So cybersecurity requires a deep understanding of computers and networks. It's also the analysis of the prevention of data breaches and attacks. And examples of some courses of this would be cryptography, ethics, and hacking. So computer science, it's a more broad field. So it involves the study of computers and computing in general. And examples of these courses would be Android programming, iOS programming, and bioinformatics. So within both fields, students can actually explore topics such as artificial intelligence and mobile app programming. Students with an aptitude in mathematics can explore the relationship between computer science and data science. And also, so for cybersecurity at Fontbonne, we actually began this program in 2015, and we proudly boast over 25 graduates who are all gainfully employed. For computer science, Fontbonne actually started this program more than 20 years ago. And these students are gainfully employed, but we actually don't have an exact number as far as the number of graduates because this program has been around for so long. So it's not just the 25, which is the initial program of cybersecurity, which is one of our newest programs within IT, but it's been a program in existence, so we just don't have any definitive numbers with that. Okay. So at Fontbonne, we also have some minors and certificates that students can gain in addition to their degree in either cybersecurity or computer science. So those are in applied mathematics, cybersecurity. So say if you majored in computer science, you can get a minor and vice versa, data analytics and web development. So computer science actually partners well with our dual degree engineering programs. We actually have partnerships with University of Missouri, Kansas City, Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville, and Washington University in St. Louis. We are actually starting an actuarial science degree program, and we offer masters in computer science, data science, and cybersecurity. And lastly, we actually have an outstanding advisory board for both computer science and cybersecurity with highly respected professionals in those fields. Okay, so you may recognize some of these logos. So students at Fontbonne actually complete 2 internships before graduation. They also secure full-time jobs at any of these different corporations. And I just want to highlight a few. So CrowdStrike is actually a huge cybersecurity firm that is really hitting the pavement as far as popularity. And then you might also know MasterCard, State Farm, Enterprise Holdings, Bayer, etc. All right, so we do have some extracurricular activities for students who are interested in these 2 types of fields. So the first one I want to highlight is the Student ACM, or Association for Computing Machinery. So that actually looks really good on resumes, and it's necessary during professional employment and technical fields. We also host programming contests. We have a math and computer science club. We have a hackers club that actually hosts our hackathon every year. The hackathon is when different local high schools and actually one Fontbonne team will all participate to get the most missions within a time frame. We also have Griffin Gamers, which is just like a club if you're interested in video games. And we also offer esports, which is an officially recognized sport. Another thing is we do actually coordinate a capture the flag game. So it's not like your traditional capture the flag where you're out in a big field and you're doing that kind of thing. It's actually really cool. It's when flags are hidden in file systems within servers. So it's actually really cool. So we have like a large area and then different tables. And so students will be paired. And basically what they're doing is they're on different teams and they'll compete to find those hidden flags in those file servers, which is kind of just like exploring hacking and data attacks and that kind of thing. All right, so if you liked what I talked about, I just want to talk a little bit about the admissions process. Hopefully you'll decide you want to apply. So our application is completely free and it is online. You can just request your transcripts and ACT or SAT scores, just partner with your secondary school counselor. And I just want to highlight, we are actually test optional for the upcoming school year. So due to COVID-19, I know a lot of you, I've talked to you guys, I've either had virtual meetings or I've met you in person. And you've mentioned you've tried to take the ACT 4 times and you haven't been able to. So we recognize that and we are being test optional. So what we'll do is we'll look at your weighted GPA and the courses that you've taken instead to determine your academic rigor and fitness in order to be admitted or not. And we're also rolling admission. So basically that means that between now and next July, you can apply for Fontbonne and still be able to receive admittance into the program and also receive merit-based scholarships. In addition, if you haven't gotten a chance to yet, we do have both virtual and on-campus visit opportunities. And then after you get a chance to see who we are, meet with us, apply for admission, see if you're accepted, we do have the National College Decision Day, which is May 1st. And obviously we are a private institution, so I just want to talk a little bit about financial aid. So I know people get scared away by the high cost of a college education. And I just kind of want to demystify the process a little bit for you all. So every single student who is actually admitted to Fontbonne does receive a merit-based scholarship. And that ranges from $6,500 all the way up to $15,000. So we actually use your weighted GPA for that. And if you decide to supply ACT or SAT scores, that is an option as well to potentially boost your aid if maybe your weighted GPA is not where it should be. So on top of that, we do have some stackable aid. We offer an A+ award of $1,000. And if you're graduating from a Catholic high school, we do give you an additional $2,000 too. So on top of that, I encourage you, if you have a camera or a device that you can take a picture, to take a picture of this slide, because there are so many outside scholarships that get unused every single year. And I just want to highlight a few. So FastWeb and Unigo, they're actually both national search databases for private scholarships. And you just have to talk to the colleges that you're interested in. But if you are interested, just ask them if they accept those. And then through those two national search engines, you can apply for scholarships for anything, for being left-handed, for being blonde, for playing a sport, for being interested in IT fields. And then the next thing is we actually have some Missouri-specific different places where you can go to. So we have My Scholarship Central, Scholarship Foundation of St. Louis, and Missouri Scholarship and Loan Foundation. So the Scholarship Foundation of St. Louis actually offers interest-free loans on top of private scholarships that you can search for. And as always, I definitely encourage that you apply for the FAFSA. It's completely free. It does open up October 1st. So that's also when you would receive an admission decision from Fontbonne if you applied anytime between now and then. But I just encourage you to apply for FAFSA, even if you don't think you'll qualify for anything, because odds are you may get something. So if you have any questions as far as FAFSA or as far as the admissions process, or if you want me to dig a little bit deeper into cybersecurity and computer science, I'll be happy to do so at the end of this presentation. But at this point, I just want to pass it over to Jared from University of Central Missouri. Thank you for your time.
All right, well, thank you. My name is Jared and I'm an admissions rep here at the University of Central Missouri. I'm just going to talk to you briefly about UCM in general, and then I'll cover our cybersecurity program and our computer science program after that. So UCM, we actually have 3 campuses, well, 2 campuses. The Warrensburg campus, which is our main campus. It's about 45 minutes from the Kansas City area. And then we also have a Lee Summit campus, as well as offering degrees online as well. We have over 150 different academic programs, over 200 different student organizations that you can get involved in. We do compete in Division II athletics. On campus, you're going to have an academic support team that is here to help you succeed. Lots of different helps that we have here to make you be successful in your time at UCM. We also this year are starting at test optional as well. As far as that goes, if you have above a 3.25 GPA, we won't need your ACT test scores. You'll be admitted into UCM, and with that, you'll be automatically receive our red and black $1,000 red and black merit-based scholarship. And then we also have other merit-based scholarships. They go up all the way up to $4,500 per year. They're renewable for up to 4 years while you're at UCM. Then we also have a couple of scholarships I wanted to highlight as well. We have an A+ recognition scholarship. So if you are completing the A+ program in the state of Missouri, we're going to give you a $500 scholarship your first year at UCM, and then another $500 if you maintain a 3.0 and complete 24 credit hours while you're at UCM. We also offer students that have any kind of dual credit through the University of Central Missouri. We offer a dual credit scholarship, so definitely check that out as well. And then we also are a super score university. So if you get to take the ACT more than once, we'll definitely take those scores, and that goes for our merit-based scholarships and then also for our admissions criteria. And if you'll go ahead and change me over to the next slide, I will continue to talk about our cybersecurity program. So our cybersecurity program, the curriculum was designed according to the National Centers for Academy Excellence in Cyber Defense. We're jointly sponsored by the National Security Agency and also the Department of Homeland Security. UCM's program is going to provide you with up-to-date for graduate students and graduate and undergraduate programs that are going to prepare our students for careers in the computing profession and help them advance to graduate study if they so choose. And it's also going to help you be fulfilling that need for the 21st century workforce. So you are definitely going to be prepared when you graduate from UCM with a cybersecurity degree. If you go ahead to the next slide. All right, so UCM cybersecurity program, we offer both bachelor's degrees and master's degrees in cybersecurity. As far as the emphasis with the cybersecurity option, it's with secure software development. We also offer minor and undergraduate work. And then if you're looking to go into graduate work, we also offer a certificate with our graduate students. If you're looking to get involved while you're on campus, we have different student groups that our cybersecurity students can get involved in, whether that be the Cyber Mules, the Association of Computing Machinery Students Chapter, and we also offer esports. So we know that's definitely a big thing that's happening right now. We have students that compete in Overwatch, League of Legends, and Rocket League. And what's really cool is students actually get scholarships for our esports. So they offer scholarships. You do have to try out for the esports team. I know that they are on all sorts of social media, so you can definitely give them a follow and find out what the esports teams are up to. And then we also have specific scholarships that are available to all of our cybersecurity students through our UCM scholarship finder. So you can go on to the UCM scholarship finder, fill out the application, and see what you're eligible for within your academic major specifically. If you go ahead to the next slide. All right, so talking a little bit about computer science at UCM, we know that computer science is a very fast and growing field. UCM's graduates are going to prepare you, UCM is going to prepare you for the workforce. We have lots of different graduates that are employed at lots of different national organizations, whether that be Honeywell, Boeing, Amazon. We also have graduates that are employed locally as well, not only the national chains, but locally as well. So it's a very rewarding field, and they usually get accepted job offers right when they graduate. So go on to the next slide. All right, so within the computer science field, our students learn in state-of-the-art labs. You can see there that the average starting salary is between $55,000 and $65,000. And as far as the systems that the students are going to learn on, they're going to learn on the most up-to-date technology, whether that's Linux or Microsoft Windows operating systems. And we also wanted to point out that we also offer a gaming development option within our computing science degree. with that. And like I said earlier, we do offer esports. They just kind of cover both our students that like to do computer science or cybersecurity with that. All right, and then I think the next slide, if you would, please. And lastly, just want to let you know, if you're really interested in UCM, you can go to ucmo.edu/visit. We do have virtual options as well as in-person options. And then we also have a Discover Central Central Day week that is going to be virtual as well. So you can check out those different options and find out what UCM is all about, and we'll be happy to show you that. As far as applying to UCM, you can go to ucmo.edu/apply. We do have a $30 application fee. The application doesn't take that long to fill out. We're also on the Common App as well. And once you get done with filling out the application, make sure you send us your transcripts from your high school counselor. And then if you are planning to take the ACT, make sure you put in UCM's ACT code 2272 or our SAT code 6090. So, all right, and that's all I got.
All right, so we'll get started with Southeast Missouri State University. My name is Brooke Lockhart, and I am the Assistant Director of Admissions here at SEMO. I have been with the university for 7 years. And this is a first for me, recruiting virtually. So we're really happy that you're spending your time with us. We wish that we could be face-to-face, but here we are. And I'm going to share a little bit with you about the university, and then we'll dive into our programs. If you can advance the slide, please. All right, so SEMO is a mid-sized regional university. So we have around 10,000 students, and our average class size is 21 students. So we pride ourselves in that small classroom environment. We do have 3 locations in addition to our main campus. So we have a main campus here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. That's located about 2 hours south of St. Louis. We're kind of right between St. Louis and Memphis. So biggest city between those two, right here in the Boot Heel. We then offer classes at our Sykeston campus and our Kennett campus, which are further south. And then we also offer classes in Poplar Bluff on the campus of Three Rivers Community College. We do have over 200 undergraduate and graduate majors, and every single one of our programs, including computer science and cybersecurity, do have the option for you to study abroad within your program. As you can see on the slide, we have over 70 study abroad destinations worldwide. We also have over 200 student clubs and organizations, so lots of opportunities for you to be involved both academically and for leisure, just for fun. We are a Division I institution, and we do have 15 NCAA athletic teams that compete each year. We are home to 5 Division I Ohio Valley Conference championships this past year. We were actually the top seeded team going into the OVC, and then COVID hit, and so unfortunately we didn't get to see how that unfolded, but we had a fantastic athletic year last year. And then we are test optional with a 2.75 GPA. This means that as long as you have a cumulative high school GPA of a 2.75, you do not need a test score to be admitted to SEMO. We actually have been test optional since 2019. We were one of the first universities in the state of Missouri to become test optional. And we're proud to be able to continue that. And then the last thing on this slide, you can see that 97% of our alumni are employed in their industry, or they are attending graduate school 1 year after they graduate from SEMO. If you can advance the slide, please. All right, so cybersecurity at SEMO. I put a lot on this slide, and honestly, I could have probably done 10 slides because these programs that our institutions offer are just so phenomenal. We could literally talk about them all day. But just some quick highlights. So cybersecurity at SEMO. Southeast was Missouri's first cybersecurity bachelor's program, so that's really exciting that we were the first ones to be able to offer that program here in Missouri. And then even more exciting is that we have the ABET accreditation. So Jenny talked about that earlier and what that means, and We are one of 3 programs in Missouri that have the ABET accreditation for cybersecurity. The other 2 programs are my colleagues here in the room with us. We have a cyber defense club, so in terms of involvement and getting together with other students of the same interest, we have that option. We are designated as a National Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense Education by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. National Security Agency. We are also 8-time state champions of the cyber defense competition. So every year that the state of Missouri has hosted this cyber defense competition, SEMO has won. And so we hope to continue that. And that really speaks volumes to the education that our students are getting here within our programs. We did launch an Institute of Cybersecurity this past spring, and basically we created the Institute of Cybersecurity as a response to the national need to have people trained in cybersecurity. As we all know, infrastructure continues to see cyber attacks at all levels, so local, state, federal, and so it's really important that we are preparing students to help protect our communities. And the Institute is collaborating with the FBI, the Secret Service, and Homeland Security. We also have a cyber range, an instructional lab, and a research lab for our students to use. The cyber range is an interactive, remote accessible computation platform, which can be used for experimental research, educational, and operational challenges. It is set up for competition framework for security and computing competitions. So our students can access this space for preparation and practice with hacking and cyber defense. Our instructional lab has 20 computers that are set up and can handle all of our cybersecurity curriculum. So all of these resources that we have, they've got the equipment, they've got the technology that can support the curriculum that they are learning in the classroom. The instructional lab is supported with a private cloud infrastructure, and it does have a computer, like an instructor station, to where someone can actually be using that space to teach others and to work collaboratively with other students. We also have a research lab, and I could list the long list of tech that classroom has, but I will spare you because I don't know what any of it means because I don't have that background, but just know that we have all of the technology that you need in that research lab. So there are 16 computers that can be used, and there's a private cloud host system. They've got all sorts of like data storage, they've got the firewall protection, and it houses a cyber stadium, and that's a private cloud that can host multiple operating systems. And the research lab is used for our students to work on research projects, and some of the current projects that they're working on are certificate revocation fuzzing techniques to identify vulnerabilities in web services, and smart road sensors, performance, and security implications. In terms of internships and career placement, our students are interning and working at places like Argonne National Lab, Ameren, Ernst & Young, CrowdStrike, and Sword and Shield. I could list a lot more, but it wouldn't have fit on this slide. So if we want to advance to the next slide, please. All right, computer science at SEMO. So our computer science program is recognized by those big names in defense that we've all kind of talked about today. And again, we have that ABET accreditation, and we're one of 7 programs in Missouri that have the ABET accreditation for computer science. For involvement opportunities, we have the Computer Science Club. And as you can see, the average mid-career salary for our SEMO computer science alums is over $100,000. So when you're talking about an industry to get into, if you're wanting to make a lot of money, Jared mentioned some of those starting salaries, but it's crazy to think that you could, double your salary at your mid-career. So those are very lucrative opportunities. And as Jared also mentioned, these are fields that are growing faster than we can graduate students. So that means students are getting jobs before they even graduate from college. They're being sought after as juniors and seniors, and really being groomed for the industry. Computer science graduates are not only used in like your typical like IT, technology type places, but financial organizations, management organizations, data warehousing, multinational companies, governmental agencies, universities, and hospitals look for computer science majors. It is a fast, dynamic, and evolving field, and you can see some of our internship and career placement opportunities with big companies like Amazon, U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, Garmin, Microsoft, NASA, Edward Jones, AT&T. Again, we could say lots and lots more. We do also have an esports arena on our campus that students can use. It is home to 12 Asus gaming computers. There's 5 console gaming areas. So we've got Xbox Ones, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 Pro, and there's a giant 70-inch wall-mounted TV so that spectators can watch the competitions. It also has a lounge area and 2 conference tables, so our students will use those spaces to just hang out, collaborate, or do homework while they're watching these competitions going on. Typically, the space is open 24/7, but due to COVID, we do have to limit and reduce the hours, so it's no longer 24/7, and we do have to limit the number of players that are in the room. We do have competitive teams that play a lot of games, including League of Legends, Overwatch, Rocket League, Apex Legends, Fortnite, and more. Next slide, please. So now we'll talk a little bit about scholarships at Southeast and how you might be able to afford to come do one of our computer science or cybersecurity programs. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are test optional, and as you can see on the very top of this scholarship chart where it says no score, you can receive scholarships with no test score. So if you have a 3.25 high school GPA and no test score, you're automatically getting a $1,000 scholarship. And if you have a 3.9 cumulative high school GPA, you would automatically get a $3,000 scholarship with no test score. We know, as several of us have mentioned, that students have not been able to take an exam, whether that's ACT or SAT, and they may not be able to take it before they're ready to start college. And so we did expand our test optional scholarships this year to be able to help those students who maybe have not been able to take the test. If you are able to take the exam, or maybe you have taken the ACT or the SAT, this chart will show you where you fall. So you're going to find your test score and you're going to match it up with your GPA. And as long as you apply by December 1, that is our big scholarship deadline, you will automatically receive the scholarship that you see the amount on this chart. If you have taken the test multiple times, we do super score. So we will take your highest section, your highest subscore, and put it together and create a new score for you. And we do use super scoring for both admission purposes and for scholarships. And then the other chart on this page will show you that our scholarships do have progressive values. So each year that you're meeting the renewal criteria for those scholarships, the scholarship will grow with you a little bit each year. Next slide, please. Okay, so how to apply. So like most others, our application is located online, semo.edu/apply. We do also accept the Common App, so that is a resource for you as well. We have a $0 application fee for domestic students, so it costs you nothing to apply. And for our freshman admission, we are utilizing self-reported academic records. So that means on your application, you tell us what your test scores are and what your high school GPA is, and we will use that self-reported information to make an admission decision. Our admission decisions are usually within a couple of days, and then after you graduate high school, then we want your official transcripts and your official test scores to be able to verify the information that was reported. If you are transferring, or perhaps you had dual credit courses, we do also need your official college transcripts at the time that you apply. So the application is pretty quick. It takes less than 5 minutes to do. And one last plug before we open it up for questions is we are open for in-person campus tours. So we offer personal campus tours Monday through Saturday at a variety of times. You can sign up for those at semo.edu/visit. And we are also hosting some open houses. So we have 3 fall visit days scheduled. Those are on October 2nd, October 23rd, and October 24th. And again, those can be found on our visit page as well. And in addition to the in-person offerings, we are also hosting 2 virtual major exploration weeks where you can actually interact with our faculty and our deans to learn more about those academic programs. And those virtual weeks are being conducted on October 5th through the 8th and October 26th through the 29th. And that is all from Southeast Missouri State University.
Okay, thank you to my other panelists, Jared and Brooke. That was fantastic. I learned a lot. Honestly, I'm thinking about these starting salaries and I'm like, oh man, maybe I'll go back to school and go back for cybersecurity or computer science. So at this point, we are available for questions. So I don't know if you all want to take a picture of this slide so you have all of our contact information, but I'll just give you a moment to do that and then I will stop sharing so that I can go ahead and see that Q&A and go ahead and start answering your questions. Okay, so if you all need that at the end again, just let me know. Okay, great. All right. So I'm going to ask my colleagues to step in here, but I personally do not see any questions in the chat as of yet. I just want to make sure I'm reading that correctly.
I had a question about fee waivers, and I answered it, I typed it out, but I just let people know. If you do qualify for a fee waiver, whether it be like a free and reduced lunch or like an ACT waiver, we do accept those for our $30 application fee. So we can definitely waive that. So if you want any more questions about that, feel free to send me a message.
Great. Okay. So I actually didn't get a chance to mention this during my presentation. So I just want to mention this again, and then maybe Brooke and Jared, if you want to reiterate for your specific schools. But we actually have one specific private scholarship for IT for students who are pursuing that. So we actually have the Monticello Scholarship for Women in Cybersecurity and Computer Science. And with that, we do receive a grant of $5,000 and then we actually match it. So in total, that could be up to $10,000 for students. And then that's typically our only sponsored scholarship. But again, we do have those merit-based scholarships. We accept A+. We also give additional aid for students graduating from a Catholic high school. But I just also want to reiterate the fact that if you go on those nationals databases to search and apply for scholarships, you're going to find a ton. And you'll also find a whole bunch for specific IT fields too. So I don't know if you wanted to jump into.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned the UCM Scholarship Finder. We actually, for cybersecurity, they actually have scholarships under that for incoming freshmen, but also current students. So when you're a student at UCM, you can apply for those, and they're specifically when it comes to departmental. For incoming freshmen, we have the Cybersecurity Achievement Award. It's based on if you're a cybersecurity major, if you have an ACT of a higher than a 23, and if your high school GPA is above a 3.5 or higher.
In addition to our Copper Dome Scholarship Program, we do also have our endowed and sponsored scholarships. And so very similar to what Jenny was talking about earlier, you could be left-handed, it could be where you're from, it could be your major. And all of our students are automatically considered for those scholarships at the time that they apply for admission. And so we actually package your scholarship offer within your admission letter. So if you are going to receive one of those, you would know about it right away. And most of them are automatic just with general information, but if there are any that you need to maybe submit a resume for, or they want an essay, or they want to interview you, they'll let you know, and then you will complete the steps to apply for those. And then within our departments, each of our academic departments does have funds available for scholarships, and so again, those are varying, those aren't automatic. The student just reaches out to the department to find out what they have available, what the requirements are, and how to apply for those.
Great, thank you. So I'm still not seeing any questions, but I did find something else I wanted to address. So for cybersecurity and computer science, at some institutions, they are considered more competitive programs. So if we all want to take a moment to just address whether there's like a separate admission criteria for those specific students pursuing those majors, or if it's just a general general application process just to go straight into those programs. Like, for example, for Fontbonne, if you get admitted into Fontbonne, then you will be a cybersecurity student or a computer science student. So, you know, there are some rigorous courses. So, you know, in order to keep your merit-based scholarship, you want to maintain a certain GPA depending on what you've received, but there is no separate application to go into those programs directly. The only case would be engineering. If you decided to go into our dual degree option, then you would need to maintain a certain GPA and then apply separately into one of those institutions that we partner with. And again, those are UMKC, SIUE, and WashU.
And that is the same for UCM as well. Once you've been admitted to UCM, you'll be admitted into the cybersecurity program. So.
And I can echo that here for SEMO. Same thing, there's no minimum GPA or application required to get into that program. Once you are a SEMO student, if you have declared that as your major, then that is what you are going to be considered here at Southeast.
And I'm a talker, so there's one more thing I wanted to highlight too, is that if you did either a virtual visit or on campus, you would actually be able to meet with one of our faculty members in the computer science, cybersecurity, or mathematics department. I'm not sure about the other institutions, but typically we're able to arrange at least exchange of contact information so that you can follow up and set a meeting with them too.
Yep, I'm going to echo the exact same thing. You'll be able to, depending upon availability, but if you come for an on-campus visit, we usually are able to have the students meet with the program that they're interested in. So, and if it's a virtual visit, we can definitely pass along your information as well.
We are offering in-person visits, but for faculty appointments, we're still conducting them via Zoom. They're still virtual, but we do have spaces set up here in admissions where we have the computer. So if you're here in person, we actually schedule everything for you. You can sit in the room, you can Zoom with that faculty member to learn more. And hopefully, you know, as things play out, we'll be back to where you can actually go to their offices, but you can still see the facility. So during your campus tour, the tour guide can take you into those spaces. You can see classrooms, you can see labs, all that fun stuff. But right now, our faculty appointments do have to be virtual, even if you're on campus.
Great. Okay. So I just want to do a last call for questions just because we are running a bit out of time. So if anybody has anything burning that we're like, you know, I don't know if I want to ask this, this is a great opportunity to do so. So I'll give you all a moment to do that.
Jenny, do you want to put our contact info slide back up just for like the last minute in case anyone wants to snag that if they think of questions later?
I just realized I was muted, but yes, it's a great idea. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm not sure if anyone has any burning questions, but again, this is our contact information. So make sure that you either screenshot it or take a picture so you can follow up with us individually a little bit later on. But I'm sure you all are dying to come to campus and we would love to have you or host you virtually. So please take time to do so. And I just want to wish everyone good luck with the remainder of their school year, whether you're a counselor or a student or something like that. But it looks like we have our facilitator jumping back on. So let's see if she wants to wish us any well wishes.
Speaking of muting, there, you guys did a fantastic job. We are so grateful to you all for being here and for our panelists and for those of you who joined us for all this terrific information. When you close your window, students and parents and counselors who are attending, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We would greatly appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions that are being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at moacac.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings also on that same website, moacac.org. Thank you all again for attending and have an awesome rest of your Monday. Be healthy and safe.